and good evening, everyone. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode 86 of the New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. I am Garry Redmond. Pleased to meet you. Well, tonight, let's put it this way. Tonight was basically, a garbage time. I'm sure you heard about that more than once. And one of the reasons, and two of the reasons, we're going to be talking about that very shortly. I'm also wearing black tonight because my mood is very dark, and I'm going to explain that shortly after that. But before we even get there, naturally, the reason for that dark mood is that we're going to talk about the results of the New York Red Bulls taking on the New England Revolution. Well, that didn't go so well. And, of course, we'll talk about the Philadelphia Union. That didn't go very well. Of course, when all is said and done after the break, we're going to talk about NYCFC and the New York Red Bulls are going to get together 2 weeks from now. Hopefully, we can be able to cool our jets and figure out what we need to do next before we roll into Yankee Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Of course, we'll have some recaps, of course, with New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. They had a pretty good weekend. And, of course, New York Red Bulls, too. They went up to Canada and fried Toronto FC, too. Of course, naturally, after that, we'll have the final word from the live audience. If you're coming online right now, welcome. This is the rant broadcast. We want to hear you. We want to hear you. I know most of you guys are pissed off like I am. Of course, we're going to have match predictions as well. And, of course, naturally, this is our live broadcast, which means it's going to be recorded after it. And if you missed the live show, hey, don't worry about it. The recording will be available on our YouTube channel and Spotify.com the very next day. You can also check out our previous episodes there as well. And we always say this, and we absolutely mean it from top to bottom. This is your show. It belongs to the group, and we do this for you basically every week, every other Monday, to talk about the things, about the trials and tribulations of the Red Bulls. So if you have any questions, comments, hot takes, suggestions to make your show better, please do send them our way at our email address at rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. Again, rbdgthepodcast, one word, at gmail.com. So, after a week of games that should have went our way, but didn't. And, of course, I'm going to bring in two of my fantastic friends here. Naturally, Miguel Nunez, who is sporting the Arsenal shirt. Congratulations, of course, on your win over Manchester United. And the one and only, the man we know as the model, Lanre Badmus. Oh, before we even go any further, my brother, happy birthday. And
happy birthday,
back.
Thank you.
All right, let's get right down to it. Before this week even got started, you guys weren't on the show on air. We had we have Carlos, and of course we had the coach, Mark Coates. We did say that this week was going to be pivotal, right? These are games they absolutely had to have, right? Didn't happen. Okay, there was a comedy of errors, okay, from what happened on the field to basically how it led to that, okay, where the team just didn't have enough personnel to go up against arguably two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. We started out, of course, on Wednesday night, which was the second best team in the Eastern Conference. And then we literally got walked out the club by the fourth best team in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, our jolly little group is stuck on 13. Miguel, I'm going to start with you because I know that you've been burning to just simply scream at these guys since. So, Miguel, stage is yours.
Yeah, I kind of I knew that they were going to lose against Miami, but then again, I thought we'd get something either at New England, something either at Philadelphia. Maybe we get something at both. I wasn't counting on a win, but I thought we'd get something. But once again, at New England, there was no offense, at all,
After you win when you don't score.
Exactly. Really? They didn't have much either, but they had that freaking one great chance, and the dude put it away, okay?
And that's all you need.
Yeah, that's it. But the thing is, it's on turf up there, Garry, okay? So, I'm never optimistic, of us going up there and playing well on turfs. So I can see that. But maybe they could have got a draw. Now at Philadelphia.
Last I checked, their practice facility has a turf field. Just saying.
Yeah, but they play at home on grass. So New England turf all the time. Okay, now they go to Philadelphia and they start off well. Omir gets a freaking goal, man. And I thought they were doing rather well. Okay, and then at 1-1 and Neelitz gets himself sent off for doing this shit. I mean, the ref is going to call that, and you already have a yellow card. Okay, what the hell? So then they're down a man, and of course, Philadelphia takes advantage because you know why? Because they have the personnel that can take advantage of that. Okay, especially when you keep on playing that high line. Okay.
Yeah, more of that later.
Yeah, maybe you want to pack it in. Maybe you want to pack it in and get out of there with a point. Okay, but no. Okay, they leave themselves exposed, and look what happens. I forget what goal it was. Like, the guy gets past Edelman, and Edelman looks like he's jogging back there. That's it. You pass me up, I'm giving up. Come on, man, a little more effort. But then again, we've discussed it. We don't have.
Yeah, we talked about
quality. We don't have the players of quality that we should, Gary. Okay, that's it. What more is there to say?
All right, Lanre, before we begin, your words. Something tells me you don't even have any at this.
Lanre, you went through that trip, man.
You went.
I'm sorry.
No. First of all, I'm proud of you for going. Okay, that was a brave. There's a reason why people ask me, "Hey, G, I know you're gonna be working. You want to go down to Chester?" No, I'm tired of Chester. Not because of the team, not because of anything else. No. The union people, when they take care of the guys in the press, they're stellar. They're really good. They really take care of us and whatnot. It's just a hassle to get down there. Okay, it really is, and especially if you're talking about a Saturday night, their transportation system ain't that great. So, after I do my thing, I gotta bounce, and otherwise, I'm spending hundreds of dollars on Uber just to get down to Center City, just to get home. So, the fact that you went down there on your birthday with your peeps, I'm proud of you. Yeah, I'm proud of you and stuff like that. But I'm sorry this team laid an egg, man, because that's what the first thing I'm thinking about. Somewhere out there in that crazy little barn of theirs, there's one of my teammates up there in the podcast heated.
Yeah.
Right ahead.
Yeah. Bet it was heated, man. I bet it was heated. Sunday night, Labor Day weekend, it wasn't that terrible getting down there, especially on the bus with the Viking Army. But Jesus, man. There's one word I could use to describe this club. I used it on my Instagram story last night, post-game, when I posted the result. Shameless. Completely and utterly just shameless. Shameless.
It's something that, you want to talk about not your best moment, right? We've had several of them this season. So, too many this season. So I see people blaming everything from the ownership to the front office to Barlow too much. I don't know why they're hitting on that kid so much. The problems go way above him.
Listen, Barlow sucks. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
We have several other guys who suck as well.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question. And every time this comes up, I'm going to ask the question. Okay, aside from Barlow, who's your other forward? Where's your other forward?
Okay.
Answer. You don't have one. Okay. So other than Elias Manuel, other than him, okay, the other scoring threat is playing on defense. We haven't had a left back since Lord knows since Taxi. Okay, we haven't had a great defense since Taxi. Your best offensive guy is playing defense. Okay,
Yep.
This is the reason why you can't score. This is the reason why they put Barlow up there, because at least with his size and frame, he can actually do something except put the ball in the back of the net, which is something was something in the person that his position is supposed to do. So you're Troy Lesesne. You need to win. You need to score goals. And when you look at that depth chart and you see Van Zier injured, okay, Corey Burke, well, he went to Jamaica. I guess he was well enough to go play for the national team, but not enough to play for the Red Bulls. Okay.
It's been crap anyway for us.
He's been, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it later. He's been a disappointment. I thought it was a great signing. Well, now we know why Philly let him go without even so much as a whimper. Oh, you want him? Take him. We're done with him. What have I been always saying about Corey Burke? I like the brother. I do.
He seemed to.
He's
to
got
be
2 left
pretty
feet.
Good. He seemed to be pretty good for Philly, though. He scored like 10 goals, something
He
like that.
terrorized us when he was with Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, he terrorized us. He comes to Red Bull. He's a milk carton. Sorry, he's a milk carton. Okay?
Double agent.
Double
agent.
Could it be that Philly has more creativity and Burke had more chances to score? You know?
Oh, you think?
Come on. Yeah.
Oh,
well, yeah.
Wait,
you think?
That's true.
Oh, you think? The man comes at you. 6 foot and change, 200 something change. He comes at you. The only thing he can't do is score. You can't, you can't have a guy with a big body like that and not, be a threat, okay, in the box. And that's the problem. Okay, we don't scare defenses. We used to. We used to have defenses had fits whenever we played them, but that was so long ago. Long ago.
I think that
not now.
I think that thing that we talked about just a few weeks back about the Rebels having one of the best defenses in
4th best
in MLS. I don't know. I think that's going away. 5 goals, 5 goals in, 1 goal scored in these 2 games.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna, I'll talk about that in a second. But of course, naturally, I know a lot of folks are wondering, hey, Gary, why are you showing highlights of a game that we lost? Because we are contractually obligated to do so. So apologies in advance.
Low lights. Let's show low lights. Okay?
Apologies in advance. Okay, because this is what we're supposed to do.
I'd rather watch Messi highlights against LAFC now.
Don't
you
start.
Put those up.
Oh my God.
Don't start. Okay? Don't make me mute you for the rest of the damn podcast.
Bro, I'm sorry, but I think it's not fair that he's playing here, bro. He's playing against, it's like Messi against high school kids, okay? Well, but go on.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna deny. I'm not gonna, deny you on that, because you might be right. I've never seen a man smile so much every time he hits the pitch. He said, okay, how much am I gonna embarrass somebody this week? Okay, if you go with that mindset, you're having a very good day. Now, back in New England, up until this point, the team and some of the fan base were touting how much, even me, okay, we're touting how much good the defense was, okay? 4th best, of course, in the league. There was just one little problem. You can't have a 4th-rate defense if you cannot score, because you have to put pressure on their defense while at the same time they're putting pressure on ours. It's always a losing fight. Now, the last time these two teams, went at it, right? It was the League's Cup, the cup that most folks say that doesn't count. We held a very high-powered offense to a single goal. Well, it just took 1 goal to beat us. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 30th minute, Mr. Varone
just didn't have the outlet pass, and that'll be the challenge throughout this match for New England as they wear on. Is there an outlet pass? Is this one close offside?
Yeah, let's see. Vrioni charging forward, has eyes left. It's in if it stands. Vrioni putting the Revolution out in front.
Starts on the near side and then goes out to the other, and second thought, does look like he keeps himself on side. Well done. And then what a finish that is. Just composes himself, gets beyond, slows himself down, takes a little second, there's a slow up, and then as the challenge comes, just unleashes to the far post. Brunel has nothing he can do as he's sucked over to that right side, and just an excellent finish to tuck it in to the far post to put New England up 1-0 here at home. And you felt it coming. They hit the crossbar from Polster moments ago.
Hassan Endam was the person trailing the play, and I've never seen a defender run that blasted slow after literally getting caught on the offside trap. So basically, that's all it took for New England Revolution to win that game. Mr. Veroni on the 30th minute, and this was part one of the pain tour on I-95. I mean, this was just basically frustration upon them. Okay, 15 shots on target, 6. 10 and 2. I mean, that's basically only if it's 50% possession each. It was a pretty much of an even game up until that point. Lanre. It was just slow motion disaster. I mean, you had a team that, for the most part, you expected, especially after the Miami game, you expected them to bounce back with a very serious performance.
Yeah,
and this is what you get. Now, I know that you were heated at that point. Like, what happened here? If you had a moment to talk to the coach, what would be your question here?
Why is your attack so impotent? That would be my question. Literally, that's it. Why is your attack so impotent? Like, why can't they string passes together? Why is there no actual off-ball movement, especially going for second and third ball?
Number one pet peeve. I see more standing around statues.
I saw so much of that last night. Oh my God! Thank God it was my birthday. I already had a good day regardless. Yo, man, oh man, oh man!
I was throwing stuff at my TV. I didn't want to damage it. I was throwing my socks at the TV. I didn't want to. I mean, I got a 50-inch TV sitting behind me right now. I didn't want to damage that sucker. I paid too much money for it. Miguel, also, I know you would. I know you were beyond disgusted. I mean, it was just piss poor. I mean, that's
Garry,
the best word I can say for it.
Garry, you know what? Just watching that play, right? They play such a high line. They're at the
and it's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. But
unnecessary.
You know what?
What are you doing?
But I guess that's the way the system works, Garry. That's the thing. But if you're going to play such a high line, you can't have Hassan Endam as the guy who's going to bail you out, because he's never going to get to a fast forward, and that's what happened. That's it. They had one chance.
Yeah, the only knock on Hassan is that he's slow. Okay, he's positionally. I mean, he's pretty good. As far as helping you out in your defense, he's very good in the air, but he is slow. When I have seen him get burned way too many times with New York Red Bull 2. To the point where he lost his starting spot. He used to be quicker than that. Then he got injured. Of course, naturally, when you get injured, when you suffer a leg injury, well, you slow down. Hate to say that, but this is what took place. Now, of course, after that, 2 days later, the team moves down I-95 to Subaru Park, a place where it's been a perpetual house of horrors for this team. Last win, 2018. It's been a while, right?
Really?
The last time this team went nose to nose with these guys, there was going to League Cup. They had the lead, coughed it up late, lost in penalty kicks. Of course, some things that we saw we wasn't supposed to see. Like, for example, boneheaded mistakes, not only on the field, but coming off the bench, Miguel. I mean, okay, in that match, you got your score. You're trying to get somebody, and he's trying to, you're trying to get him healthy from an injury. Do you put him in for penalty kicks at the risk of re-injuring said injury?
That was one of the dumbest decisions that I've seen, a coach make. Why would you do that? And, even that he's been our best player. He was
on the field for 30 seconds.
I don't think he got a touch, but
no. No, he didn't get a touch.
Yeah, and he's coming in cold. If you want to do that, give him some time to be on the field and get some touches, okay? And then he puts him in just for the freaking penalties, and he misses his penalty. Come on,
and pretty much it. Of course, naturally, because this was a game they had to have, right, folks? I mean, for the second straight game, teams that we wanted to lose were losing or have lost a game.
Yeah.
They were doing us a solid. All the Red Bulls had to do was get points. That's it. All the Red Bulls had to do was get points. They got nothing. But there was a little bit of hope in the 11th minute. Omir Fernandez, say hello.
Strong challenge, middle of the park by Edelman sends the Red Bulls on their way. This Harper plays this out wide. Reyes getting forward, plays into the 18. Quick shot blocked away, and the rebound is put home. It's the Red Bulls who strike first. Omir Fernandez with the opening goal.
We didn't mean the centre-backs going out to the right wing, but it's exactly what Reyes does here, and give him great credit. A lot of defenders would have just tried to flash that across goal, but he doesn't. He looks for Fernandez, and it's a wonderful ball to Fernandez. He gets a little bit lucky because he gets the second attempt, and because Blake has dived from the initial attempt, he can't get himself up in time to do anything about the second strike. And that will be something that Troy Liston will be absolutely delighted about. You can just see when Lowe makes that initial block, Blake goes because he's not sure whether Lowe's going to be able to make the block. And when he does, Blake goes down, as we see once again here, and he can't get up and make any adjustment.
So for a while, hey, feeling good. I mean, hey, it was wearing those ridiculously putrid yellow jerseys, which I hate so much. More on that later. And there's more. I mean, there's more to it than that. And then we were feeling pretty good. We got a lead. Let's see, we were able to hold it this time. Or so we thought, because 18 minutes after that, Jacob Gletnis off a set.
Admirable work in this spot, but it's a hard way to play for 90 minutes as well. Wagner again. Able to swing this ball in. Punched out initially by Coronel. Gletnis with the rebound puts it home, and the Union have leveled the match.
We spoke about the mismatch between Gletnis and Fernandez. And Fernandez just loses him. He loses him in a group of players. Gletnis is able to get that little bit of space for himself, and you see how much it means to him. He wanted to get the midweek game out of his system, but he just drops at that last second, and then there's no one anywhere near him, and he just drops back and he puts the ball into the back of the net. And it's been coming for Philadelphia Union. Coronel's come through. It's a difficult one. He's not been able to get enough purchase on it because the amount of players are around him. Then it falls to Gletnis. Just takes a couple of little touches on the way through, but there's no taking that goal away from Gletnis because it was on target. And Philadelphia Union, they'll say that they've got their just rewards for the opportunities and the pressure.
Yeah, at this point it was even, and set piece defending not a strong suit.
I thought that clearance by Coronel was just ass. Okay.
I mean, it was. I mean, you punch it out. I guess that's all you can do. I mean, the correct thing to do is try to grab it, but when you got to fight through all those bodies to get that ball, I mean, I'm not going to fault him on the punch out, but I am going to fault the team for letting Gletnis sitting there all by himself. Nobody marked this guy. Nobody bodied this guy, and he was able to bang it home off a rebound off a set piece. Now, in the 6th minute, Sean Nealis, our captain, remember him? He got hit with a yellow card. Okay, so basically you should have calmed him down, but be more careful. Unfortunately, 15 minutes after that goal was scored, this happened.
And now Wagner. Ua couldn't control the ball. This is off a Red Bull arm, and we have a second yellow card out of the pocket, and Sean Nealis has been sent off.
Just there. He looks at it there and then there. That's the one. It's not the first one. It's the second one where he just sticks his arm out just now, and he puts his arm towards the ball. So you can say that his arm is not in an unnatural position, but the arm moves towards the ball. The referee's in a wonderful position to give it.
Right. People thought it was a foul at first, but no, it was essentially, Lanre, sticking your elbow out toward the ball, that's going to be called 99 times out of 100. Red card.
Stupidity. Complete stupidity. I don't know what on earth he was thinking there. Yo, Sean Nealis has really turned to the American Harry Maguire this season, ever since we gave him the captain's armband. He's so like the low mid this year. Man, like I don't even know why the guy's captain, yo. Like, man, what is this, man? American Harry Maguire. He moves like a fridge. He doesn't make sound footballing decisions. He has no footballing IQ. Like, that was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen a New York Red Bulls player do on a football pitch. That it's brain dead. It's worse than brain dead. It's like it's brain vaporized and the ashes buried.
Yeah, especially because the Philly player that would have gotten the ball would have been offside. Okay.
Yeah. Like he doesn't know that. He's no football IQ. None.
It's called situational awareness, but we get your point. I mean, this is, you know, whenever I saw that, I just rolled my eyes so hard. I had a headache. I just said, man, know where you're at, bro, and know what you're doing. I just after that. I you know, I know you were there. You were there live and in person, and I know every person was in red sitting there going, oh no. And in case you were wondering if things got bad to worse, well, it did, because 13 minutes after that fiasco, Mr. Lowe.
He's not being marked at the moment.
At the all-important tying goal, Harriel did in the game decided by a penalty shootout. This ball whipped in and finished. It's a set-piece goal once again. And Damian Lowe has given the Philadelphia Union the 2-1 lead.
Just see Lowe just gets ahead of his marker. I think it's actually Reyes that's with him. It's a lovely ball in from Wagner.
The pain will continue 1 minute later.
Now McGlynn for Philadelphia. Headed back by Harriel, taken here by Bedoya. He plays this across. Harper chasing, Union for Carranza, fires and scores! Carranza firing a bullet past Coronel, and the Union suddenly have taken the game by the throat.
Initially, the cutback here from Wagner is sensational. And the finish from Carranza, well, that's even better. He knows the pace is on the ball, so he doesn't have to go right through it. If anything, he just allows the pace on it and then gives the direction. And it's a brilliant pass from Wagner, arguably the best left back in MLS.
Not sure what Harper was doing by not standing in front of, just trying to block the shot or anything else. He just said, Ole, and got it to Carranza, and it was a fantastic finish. I mean, I'm not going to doubt that by a minute. But at this point, guys, if you weren't heated at this point, you were certainly heated now. I mean, the roof just basically caved in at this point.
It's so over. It was so over. It was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I think when the third goal went in from Carranza so quickly after that second goal, honestly, I laughed to keep from crying. It was my birthday, and I didn't want to cry over this.
Oh my god,
team, man! I wasn't going to shed no tears over that. I just had to laugh to prevent that. I was, oh my god, inexcusable. Harper, Edelman, that was sorry performances from both of them.
2 goals on set pieces, guys. I mean, this was about as bad as it got. Okay. And they were not gimmies. These were basically, they were gimmies. They were they were basic gimmies. I mean, they were basically saying, "Oh, okay, here you go. We're gonna part the Red Sea, so to speak." I mean, and Brian O'Neill had said it best. He said, "At this point, anytime Red Bull New York are defending set piece, you put your head in your hands and cover my eyes and hope that no goal is scored, because they let in so many goals on set plays." I mean, this is the one thing that has driven fans nuts. Okay, there was a time we used to do very well on set pieces. We used to score on them. Now we can't defend on them to save our lives. I mean, this is kind of, right on the coaching staff. But when you have players who just simply don't do, and then standing around, letting guys get passes from the get-go on their own offensive line, I mean, forget the system. That's just basic soccer defense. If all you're going to do is just stand around, okay, and not even anticipate where the ball's going to go, you're helping the team. You're really helping your opponent, okay? They're going to find those spots. They're going to get those spots, and they're going to score on them, okay? And that's a shame, and that's a shame. And I agree with Vincent. Fullbacks go way up too far, leaves huge gaps on teams that just simply take advantage of it. And they took full advantage of it. I'm willing to bet, the halftime substitution was also a little head scratching for me. I'm thinking, okay, so you lose. Okay, so you lose Nealis. No problem. Okay, tell you what, take out Barlow. Take out Barlow. Bring in Nadam. Double down to the defense. Walk out of there with a point. Everybody's happy. It may not be a win, but hey, we get a point on the road. No. So what do? You have you got one center back defending everything. There were gaps everywhere. I just looked at this and said, oh, Troy. And I know, which, what Jim Curtin was probably thinking at this point, sucker, I got you tonight, man. I'm just going to run all over you. And that's basically what they did. Okay. I like Troy. I really do. I really like Troy, but I'm gonna hold my thought until after, because there was unfortunately one more goal to go after that. Daniel Gazdag in the 70th.
And needed to do better with the pass taken here by the Union. Gazdag going straight for goal. Daniel Gazdag makes it 4. And crumples to the ground in discomfort after the finish.
About Wagner again. It's a wonderful ball. He sees the run from Gazdag, who gets on the wrong side of Edelman and just puts the ball into the back of the net. It's a good finish. We just holds up straight away after he puts the ball in. Just has a little look behind, make sure Edelman's nowhere near, and then he steadies himself, puts the ball into the back of the net. If the game wasn't over before this goal, well, it most certainly is now.
Last season, he became the 6th player in MLS history with at least 20 goals and 10 assists in a single season. Awarded a multi-year contract.
Well, remember that 4th best defense we talked about at this point? Well, Philadelphia Union just simply said, yeah, what defense? Glesnes, Lowe, Carranza, Gazdag. That's all you need to know at this point. Fernandez in the course of the 11th minute. It's not so much as of the result, but the effort that a lot of folks are very angry about right now. And that's probably why folks are in the dark mood, especially I am. Most of you guys were, on the pod last week, not you two guys. Okay, when I said that last week, after the Miami game, and after Miami game, I was ready to grind. I'm going to have to grind my axe. Okay, tonight that axe is now swinging at people, specifically Mr. Schneider, who, first of all, we want to give a shout out to our good friend Mark Fishkin. Okay, on Seeing Red, did an excellent job granting an interview with Jacob Schneider. Unfortunately, to Mr. Fishkin, it was a waste of his time, because although he peppered him with a lot of tough questions, I listened to the interview twice, okay, see if I can get some sort of insight. And Mark doesn't pull punches especially when he's trying to get answers, when he gets questions answered, okay? High heat after high heat after high heat. Now, either you're going to get hit, take the hit, or duck. This man ducked every question that he asked, okay? So it basically neutralized the attack. I guess it was it was basically a skill for Mr. Schneider. But essentially, what are you guys doing? Okay, this, you grant one person interview, and you didn't answer any of the questions that was pointed, at least for the direction of the team. To this very day, no one knows. Okay. I got my guy who is a Schalke supporter. He keeps emailing me week after week after week. You tired of this fool yet? Well, yeah, we've been tired of this fool since, I don't know, training camp. I mean, this has been, par for the course. And Mr. Hamlet, yes, I'm looking at you, sir. We haven't signed anybody since, the another Daniel, I forgot his name is, we'd like to call, MILF Hunter. Remember him? We haven't signed anybody since him.
Royer.
We haven't signed anybody.
Yeah.
We haven't signed anybody decent since Daniel Royer. Okay. Some of his signings, some of his bodies of work, lately. I'm not talking about during the Shield days. I'm talking about lately. Some of his bodies of work has been garbage. I mean, signings that lead up really to a fireable offense, but he's still here. Okay. I said it this way, as far as the, to the group, it's one point on the thread in the group. If he is still here, okay, after, if he is still here during the off season, then you already know where this direction this team is going. And every single one of you should know what to do at this point. Honestly. Okay. Yeah. But I hear people talking about getting rid of Troy. Look, when I said I like Troy a lot. But he knew what he got into. He knew he was getting in with when he came here. Okay.
Gary.
Go ahead.
We have the perfect coach in Mr. Lisane, okay? Because we have a USL team right now. Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, we do have a USL team. Yeah. I mean, but even then, I would have to disagree with you, Miguel, because there are USL outfits who are better than this squad.
There you go. I don't disagree with you.
I mean, as a person that follows the USL up until they moved to New York, until the MLS Next Pro, okay, followed the USL religiously. There are squads that can beat this squad. I'm not kidding, okay? We had players that were ready. We moved them along and brought up guys from New York Red Bull too. My girlfriend said it best, okay, during the thread. A lot of people didn't like her toxic and candid, point, but she made a point. She said, look, as much as she hates the team, she's a Liverpool supporter, okay? To her, it's a proper football team, not the New York Red Bulls. Her hatred started the day they traded Giovanni Savarese to New England. She's hated the club ever since.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Yeah. Drop dead hatred. And I'm talking drop dead, you murdered my child hatred, okay? Moving on. She put it like this. Okay, I was her ghostwriter at the time. Y'all don't deserve this. As much as she hates the team, y'all don't deserve this. Y'all don't deserve this level of ineptitude, cluelessness in the front office. Okay. You got one group trying to sell tickets to a team that nobody knows about, nobody cares about. Okay. This is the New York area. We follow famous people. We follow stars. Those folks that came over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go just to watch Messi, well, we ain't got that. But here's the kicker that a lot of folks don't seem to understand. We don't need that. We just need a decent team. I've been saying this, guys, since how long, right? You've heard me say it more than once. Give me a team that's deep from bench to pitch and watch us rock.
Gary.
Give me what LAFC got. Give me at least half what Philly got. Give me something what New England got.
Not. You do realize that LAFC.
I understand that what I'm saying is fool's gold, right?
At home. Okay, there you go.
Okay, I know I'm saying. I'm just basically yelling in the dark room, and I'm hearing myself echo off the walls. but this is what's going to get it done. Because when we had teams like that, gentlemen, if you remember, we were winning games. They were fun to watch. People were coming out. We only really had about, give or take, maybe one superstar or two. But after Henry left, and then Jesse Marsh grabbed everybody but the scruff of the neck and said, "Let's go." That's what we had. We had guys that, we didn't have guys that lit up the marquee on Madison Avenue, but they were a decent team, and people rallied around that decent team. I've been saying this for a long time. Get us back to 2018, please. Build the team. I mean, you got the Grand Prix saying we're going to spend money. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, partner. Okay, I hate to say this because we've heard this song and dance before. But why wait till now to make that declaration? Should have made that declaration before, the transfer window.
Yeah,
that would have meant something. But now,
here's the thing I gotta say, right? You say you want a team that's deep from top to bottom. You say you want something like what LAFC have. You say you want something that's like half of what Philadelphia have. Here's the thing: to get a team that's as deep as the teams that we should be looking at and envying, especially a team like Philly who copied our whole shtick, copied our whole flow,
pretty much, and damn near perfected it.
Perfected it almost, by the way. I have to say, you need a front office that's willing to actually spend on quality players to bring to the club and bring us back to our former glory days.
I'm aware of that.
We do not have that, and until these guys in office who are just so beyond disgusting ineptitude and disgusting, grotesque, repulsive, repugnant levels of incompetence, until Jochen Schneider and Dennis Hamlet are gone from their jobs, that is not happening.
Well, you can't fire Troy Lesane unless you fire these guys first. That's what I'm saying.
And Troy Lesane isn't even going to be fired. He's an interim.
It's not. I mean, he's an interim coach. Okay. If you're going to spend a lot of money on getting a coach, I'd rather you spend some money on ballers first. Give the man some weapons. Okay, because he sure ain't got it.
He should at least.
Everyone's yelling. I mean, everyone's yelling at him. Why are you starting Barlow all the time? But look at his look at the bench. What do you got? Your best offensive players are injured. Probably gone for the season. You're not going to see Morgan until training camp of next year. You're not going to see Goma until training camp of next year.
Lost season for Goma too. This would have been his second year.
That's correct. Lost season for him too, and he wants the ball. I spoke to him. He wants to get in it, but every time he's in, you're working on an injury where you need legs. You need your leg muscle needs to be loose. It ain't. Even walking is like walking in a headache. It hurts. Hamstring injuries are very hard to heal. It's even worse when you have a training staff that couldn't, get him up to speed. That's why they got rid of them. That's why they got rid of the training staff. Put him on probation. One guy got injured, kicked him out. Does that sound like a stable organization to you?
It sounds like a shameless joke. That's what it sounds like. An unserious, shameless joke.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and then we're going to take a break just to cool ourselves, cool ourselves off a little bit. My girlfriend doesn't have anything against the development. If there's going to be a development club, so be it. My girlfriend doesn't have anything about that. And here's the reason why. She says, look, you need development. You need to bring guys up, for professionally. So she believes in it. The problem with the Red Bulls, and this is where she hates this team so much, is that they use that as the primary source to fill bodies on the roster. We're the only club that does this. Every club around the world, if you're going to bring up somebody from the JV team, from level 3 to level 2 to level 1, that baller better be damn near exceptional. Exceptional to even get a sniff of a contract. If he ain't good enough to make it a first team, and your mommy and your daddy agent saying, "Oh, he's good someplace else," good, bye. We only get. There should be a standard. We only want ballers here. Okay, If we don't want players, ballers. Ballers are down for the cause. Ballers are down for the shield. They do anything to win. And if your kid from, I don't know, prep school, whatever, from whatever college ain't good enough, yeah, my son was All-American. Yeah, but can he ball? That's the question. Can he ball? Well, he can play. Next. I'm serious. Ballers. That's what I want. Ballers. We had them once upon a time. I think we got a couple of them. Another thing, and I'm pointing my finger right on Hamlet. I'm calling him a zombie. Okay, so you knew that I'm watching these last two games, and everyone's talking about Barlow, but they're not talking about the one guy who could help with the creativity as far as the midfield thing, Christian Caceres. Ever notice that once he exits stage right, quality in the midfield has dived, okay, like a bad boxer.
It died. Straight up died. There's a hole right in the midfield. There's a hole. That's what Christian Caceres used to be. At least when he took the ball, he definitely knew what to do with it. But he's having a wonderful time out in France. Good for him.
Good for him.
He deserves it.
I'm sure he does. Nothing but happen. First, we're going to talk about a poll that we did just before the show, and it might surprise you of which way the group was leaning at. But first, we're going to talk about Week 30 of Major League Soccer. We're going to take a break. See you back here in 30 seconds. All right, cool kids. Because our next game, of course, is versus NYCFC, part 2 of the Hudson River Derby. That's not going to happen until the 16th of this month. So in the meantime, we're going to cool our heels, literally and figuratively, because next Monday there will be no show, okay, because we'd be no game. So we all get to relax a little bit. But that is our next game. And, of course, NYCFC, remember them. We beat them in round 1, of course, of the Hudson River Derby. And now they're looking for some payback. They are in the same situation that we are, okay? Their playoff chances took a major hit, but they seem to got themselves back into it thanks to a win versus Montreal, thanks, and, of course, a tie versus Vancouver, also thanks. Because now because of that draw, they have leapfrogged over us, okay? They're closer to the playoff spot than we are. So we come into Yankee Stadium. Kickoff is at 3:30 p.m. I believe it's going to be a national televised game. It always is whenever these two teams get together. I'm hoping that these two fan bases play nice. No riots in the Bronx, guys, especially you dudes out in New Jersey. Remember, the cops in New York are nastier than the ones over in Jersey. It's true. So just keep that in mind, okay? Just have your beer, drink, and keep the banter to less than personal and have a good time. But in this particular match, we may have a chance to knock somebody out of the playoff race at this point. Our chances after our ridiculous beatdown in Chester is now in life support. So let me ask you guys a question, everybody here in the audience, all right? Who needs this match more, New York or New York City?
New York.
Definitely being biased here. But
no bias. Literally below the understandings. Like as you said, we are on life support. They are not necessarily on life support. The citizens aren't, but we are. And I believe if we lose this game,
we're done.
We're literally finished. And there's no promotion relegation here.
This is the American style of the promotion.
No, wait. Hold on.
Relegation.
That right, Miguel?
There was a guy who was recently on who was trying to tell me that not making the playoffs is American relegation. Okay.
Well, it is.
I mean, I nearly fell over my chair when he said that.
It is, though.
But he's right, though.
Please.
I mean,
no. Take that back.
I mean,
he's not right.
Okay. Well, I'll
because
say
you don't
this.
go down to the second division and
No,
then
you
you have
don't.
to claw yourself back up to the first division. Okay, you suck,
Hey.
and then you do it all again next year. Okay.
Hey, I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I mean, I've always said that you should have some sort of promotion relegation within the league, within the system,
Next
the
year.
system.
Next
Have
year.
a New York, have a MLS 2, so to speak. Okay, you take your 10 teams that didn't make it. Okay, here you go. Okay, fight your way in. This should be an MLS Premier and an MLS 2. If you're going to do it that way, because the USL is doing their promotion relegation within their league from League 3 to 2 to Championship. Okay, that's what they're doing. MLS should just simply follow suit. And then, more importantly, if you're going to do that, give the clubs or the owners and investors a little sweetener. Okay, you can spend whatever you want on players. Now, there's going to be a hard salary cap. Okay, can't overspend, and if you do, well, that money is going to trickle down to the other teams, so they can have their beaks wet a little bit. At least that's what I would do if I was the commissioner of Major League Soccer. It would satisfy the zealots, okay, for promotion and relegation. It would satisfy the fans to have an actual club operate as such for change instead of franchises that hoards all the money, and it gives all the clubs one thing that we've always want them to have. And that is credibility and accountability. Because if you screw up, you're going down, bruh. Okay? Yeah. Like it or not,
Garry,
you're going down.
I like that.
Listen, Garry, next season, we're going to have American relegation t-shirts. # American relegation. Okay?
And we'll sell them. And we'll, not sell them, but we'll make some money for good charity and stuff like that. Now, speaking about the poll, I mentioned this, before we went on air, there was a poll. Okay. I asked a very simple question. And that question was, say what you guys were in a room with Red Bull Global, right in the offices, of course, in Austria. Okay. Where would you, and I mean you, people in the live audience and people in the group, where would you want this team to put their focus on? Here was the results of that poll, guys. 116 people voted, and 48%, a healthy 48%, said, you know what? Nothing. Just leave. Just disappear. Just go away.
Please.
Absolutely.
I did not take part in the poll, but please,
peace out.
Vote for that option, okay?
Peace out.
Just get out,
peace out. No, that's okay. Thanks. You've done enough.
Thank you.
Sayonara.
Right.
We'll get another ownership group. We'll find somebody else who can able to at least hire people that can able to run this club correctly.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's never going to happen.
Don't let the back door hit your backside, okay? Bye.
That's never going to happen, but you get the idea. Okay.
Good.
Second place, of course, is getting a new sporting director, head coach, general manager.
And
that was 34%.
We still have the same quality of players, though. Okay, so
for those who want Red Bull gone, take it from a Knicks fan. Okay, be careful what you wish for. Let me rewind the clock. Before Cablevision ever got their hands on my beloved New York Knicks and Rangers, okay, the team was owned by ITT. Remember them? Okay. They owned the New Madison Square Garden. They owned the Knicks. They owned the Rangers. Since Cablevision came in, and James Dolan has basically been made Lord and Master over, Lord and Master, of course, over MSG. He has basically transformed the place into, well, it's not exactly regular fan friendly. Okay. You went from your ticket prices, where once upon a time was more affordable, went skyrocketing up. Okay, virtually every they figured, okay, we don't have enough suites, so they rebuilt Madison Square Garden to where they had nothing but suites. Okay, now if you want to watch your Knicks and Rangers, you're going in the upper deck to the 11th and 12th floors, hidden behind some blasted bridge. I have no idea why they put that there, but they have better views than you do. Okay, up in the rafters,
all the way in the back.
All the way in the back.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
now most of the time the people the people who come to the Garden, especially Knicks fans, some of them are Knicks fans. Everybody else is watching the other team, the LeBrons, and everyone else. Okay, that's what it was for Madison Square Garden. If they're going to afford to buy tickets, they're sure. That's why you heard cheering basically from both sides of the spectrum. Yours truly vowed never to set foot in that place unless Dolan was gone. I haven't been in the Knicks game in years. It's almost 20
But the Knicks
years.
are always sold out, Gary.
The Knicks are always sold out, and here's the reason why. Remember that part I said about suites? That's why they're sold out.
There you go.
Okay? It ain't regular fans, bruh. That hasn't happened in 15, 18 years. When they rebuilt Madison Square Garden, there was a time where only the suites existed on the lower floors. Okay? Now it's everywhere. Everywhere. And you'd have to pay a premium price to sit in those seats. You want Red Bull to go that model? Good luck. Okay, sure. You might not have the best team out there, but hey, when Messi showing up every night, gets filled out. Not every owner or ownership group, really cares about the sport, to be honest with you. They don't see this sport, okay, as something that's transformative. They don't, especially here in New York. So while I agree to a point that there should be a change in ownership, be careful, okay? Be very careful, because the type of ownership that you have may not be the ownership you want. And if you don't believe me, ask any Knick and Ranger fan if they love to have ITT back. Because back then, tickets were affordable. The teams were crap, yes. The building was crap, yes. But at least you were able to go to a Knick game and not have to take out a second or third or even a fourth mortgage like you do now.
But Gary,
Just going to a game.
But Gary,
let
me just say that I'm fully of the opinion that if this ownership continues, we're just going to see mediocrity year after year after year.
Oh, no doubt.
We're going to have. Our thing is going to be to avoid American relegation and get into the playoffs, where anything can happen, yada yada yada. But where we'd have to await a miracle in the playoffs, okay? But that would be very hard to do, because I think MLS has moved on to the next stage, okay? It was what, MLS 2.0, MLS, is this 3.0 now?
4.0.
Maybe it's 4.0 right now.
4.0.
Okay?
And we're stuck at 2.0.
That's what I'm talking about, Gary. I can see us being stuck at MLS.
That's what right, and that's what I want this club to do. I want this club to show some initiative to basically, if not be transformative, where we're the ones making 5.0, then we catch up. That's the issue, and that is really on management. Okay. Yeah. Every company has knucklehead managers on the payroll. What is stupid is keeping them on the payroll. Somebody in that boardroom has to look at, because I'm going to say this, okay? I know everybody's, you're nothing but a Red Bull shrill. Okay, well, how do you explain, okay? How do you explain that everything is working in Salzburg, Leipzig, Bragantino? I'm sure somebody over there is going, what the hell's going on in Harrison? What's up in Harrison? Everything is working in these places, and it's basically, they're not following our directives. In case anybody, know to understand, they're separate clubs. They got their own GMs, they got their own presidents, and so on. New York, We got Mario Gomez poking his head and going, okay, what the hell's going on? How come I can't turn around without seeing a mushroom cloud developing over Harrison? What's going on? If it ain't your team, it's your fan base that's looking to kill y'all because you ain't doing stuff right. What's up? The boys over in the headquarters wants to know what's going on. And they're not going to, my thing is, if you're going to do something, you should have done it already. It's past time. Time to clean house. There's some dudes who are in charge have been there just a bit too long. You chased out Armas. Okay, you're trying to tell me you can't chase out these guys? I would rather the organization focus on that and how they're going to be able to turn around this apathy, because all of it can be corrected with the right people. Not necessarily with the right ownership, but with the right people. I need someone to come in there and go, okay, I want people to love this team again. How do I do it? I want people to come out and make Red Bull soccer games an event like it used to be. Remember? How do I do it? I want season ticket members to feel special. They get a nice package. I got the boxes sitting in my living room right here, looking at it wistfully. The good old days, okay, when season ticket holders were treated like kings, ballers. Didn't matter where you were sitting, you were ballers. It was like, welcome to the club. We ain't been that way. Little things, and I wrote this to them, to the Grand Prix, to Joseph Stetson. Focus on the little things to the people that are still here. You take care of them. You make them feel special. Give them the swag that nobody else gets. People will figure it out. Yo, man, how you get that nice jacket? Yo, how you get that nice scarf? Yo, how you get that stuff? How do I get it? Well, got to be a member.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, Gary, but they used to throw like an end of season party.
Yeah.
It used to be in Hoboken, and different locations.
They used to the preseason party.
Yeah, the preseason and end of season,
That should have been it should be that should be a traditional event. Now, of course, naturally, COVID took all that nonsense away. Okay. And they're slowly but surely bringing that back. Okay. But that's something that they should that's something that should be job one. We got to make our people who come here every game, win, lose, or draw, in the heat, in the rain, and in pain. These people we appreciate, and we're going to take care of y'all. Everybody else, you got to be a member. That's how you do it. Treat it like a club. Treat just like a club. Yeah, we got a small fan base, but I'm going to take care of that fan base. Me? Y'all going to Philly? Lanre? You ain't driving. We providing the bus.
They used to do that as well. They used to
do that. We provide the bus.
Yeah.
You going to DC? Fine. How many of y'all going? Oh, about 500 of us. Boom. Here's the bus.
Wasn't it like 7 buses that they took down to DC? I don't know. It might have been more, but
RFK at one point,
I was there.
Sure.
I was there.
I wish I was.
It was the best. I was there. It was a playoff game. We lost that game, but we knocked out DC. But we were the only section that was loud in that place.
Right?
We
did lose. Yeah, we lost that game. I was there. Yeah.
Loss ever.
Best
loss ever.
I remember that. Yeah.
Best loss ever. It was about over 1,500 of us.
Yeah.
1,500. One voice. We were the loudest section in that building.
I remember that. That Red Bulls fans were louder than the DC fans.
Louder than hell. Louder than hell. Didn't stop. Louder than hell. I was proud. It was an honor to be there. An honor to be there. And Red Bull made it possible because they provided the buses. That's the type of things that should not stop. You don't do it for everybody. You don't do it for everybody and their dog. You do it for the supporters. You do it for them. And if they want to join in on the fun, join the club. Join the club. Somehow they've gotten away from that, and that's a shame. That's something that they just should never have done.
But mainly, Gary, they've gotten away from actually having a good team on the field. Thank you very much.
Well, that's part of it.
And having competent people like running the show behind the scenes,
Right.
general manager, sporting director, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
And they're complete fools. Complete
Right.
fools. We were shouting at
the
them.
one thing we take it, and I agree with the Travel Pass, which people put their actual names on this. But I think one of the things to take for granted as Red Bull fans is how affordable ticket prices have always been, and it's absolutely right. And that's the reason why I say be careful what you wish for, because
I would pay more for a better team.
Well, that's true, and that's
I don't want to pay.
Yeah,
I don't want to pay a real low price for crap.
I mean,
okay?
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree. If you get a better team, you're going to pay that money. Of course you are. See Toronto, okay? They got superstars on the payroll. Where are they? But they're paying money. They're paying money. But
double my season ticket price.
But they paying money.
Some freaking great players on the field. I'll pay. Money.
But
okay,
you can bring in superstars. You can pay money off the wazoo. But let's face it. If you
show some intent, show that you want to win
your
it
squad
all.
Isn't going nowhere, then what? I mean, I would too. I'm right there with you. Hey,
and as a matter of fact, I could just sell my Messi tickets next year, and then I'd make up most of my season ticket.
I'm not sure if I'm going to sell my ticket this time around. I already did that once to fund my vacation, but it depends on the market. Maybe I'll just give that one away. Last piece of business before we say good night. Oh, by the way, New York Red Bulls 2, by the way, won Toronto FC 3-0. Sofo scored in the 23rd minute, and it was Mr. Mullings scored twice in the 32nd and 35th minute. This team is balling, y'all. Go see them. They got one more home game left over at the campus. They're already in the playoffs thanks to this win. So if there's any team that's going to need your, if the the first team can't get it done, the second team is definitely going to need your support. Ibra's got these guys playing well. Okay, they're literally hitting their stride, and they're definitely fun to watch. Go see them. Another squad you may also want to go see. Okay, in case many folks may not want to do that, of course. Hang on for 1 second. Of course, is Gotham FC. Remember them? Now, they went down to see North Carolina Courage. North Carolina Courage scored a couple of goals, 19th to 45th, and of course, that's when the Gotham girls came right back. Okay, Hopkins got in the 68th minute, but then before that, Niswan got on a penalty, and then of course, everyone's favorite name Percent scored the equalizer, and everybody went to go home to kiss their sister. But this team is sitting right now in third place in their league. Okay, fighting for a home court advantage, and if I'm just saying, okay, both squads right now playing in front of small crowds. If you're not satisfied with what's going on, of course, with the New York Red Bulls, hey, these two teams can use your support. Take a little trip down there to MSU Soccer Park, and of course, the New York Gotham FC. They're playing this Saturday, of course, for their home game, and there's a very few home games left. So that's about it. Okay, let's talk about predictions. We both said that the New York Red Bulls need this game. They need this game more than NYCFC. How do you see this going? Honestly.
I see the New York Red Bulls taking a big fat loss. Yeah, that's it.
Same.
Okay, there you go.
Not out of
no 2, no 3.
I'm going to throw something in there because right now I'm sitting near the bottom of the table as far as predictions is concerned. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
But you know what? You're just throwing in.
That's optimistic.
I'm just throwing it out there. The only reason why I say this is because I'm going to say you're right on this. We haven't really won up there in a while. That's number one. And number two, in order for us to get out of there with any similar point, let alone 3, is that we have to play tight on that tight field. If there's one team that knows how to use that field to their advantage, it's City.
Yeah.
Like it or not. that field acts as a 12th man. I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Every team that goes up there, they either try to figure out what they were trying to do, or by the time they do figure it out, they got owned. Now, the last time we went up there, we got owned, okay, on set pieces, which scares me half to death. Anytime when you got to do with a set piece or a corner kick, we all got to drop our heads in dread, and then later drop our heads in shame. Hopefully, Mr. Lassane and the crew all stand together, because he said this, of course, during an interview, that there were some things that he didn't like, and of course we had to look in the mirror, and it hasn't happened, of course, Troy. I'm hoping that after the break, after playing at least 3 games in 8 days, I can contribute that maybe you guys were gassed at the end to get some rest. You're not going to have Sean Davis. Sean Nealis, not Sean Davis. You're not going to have Sean Nealis with you. He's suspended, okay, for that match, thanks to trying to elbow a ball, away from people. So
I wish we had Sean Davis at this point, Gary. Okay? And Alex Miguel and Derek Etienne. I wish we had those guys.
That's McCarty.
Not to mention Dax McCarty. Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, those guys are having the time of their lives over in Nashville, a club that really wanted their services and fans that appreciated them, unlike here. So, once again.
As a matter of fact, Gary, you're right, because it's one of those situations, like, be careful what you wish for. I wish we had better players at the time than Alex Miguel, Sean Davis, and Derek at the end, for instance. They're like a peer in comparison to what we have now. Gary. Okay.
Those guys right now, especially Derek Etienne, he's having a wonderful time over in Atlanta. He's having a ball out there on that plastic turf out in Georgia.
He won the MLS Cup with Columbus.
Yes, he did. I ain't mad at the brother. I ain't mad at him. He took his chance. He took his opportunity. He had an opportunity. He took it. He got himself a ring. I'm proud of him. Okay.
He deserves it.
He deserves it. Yeah. But it's just another indictment against this organization. And where you don't recognize the talent that you do have, instead you're going after talent that you might have, and you spent a lot of money for it. That smacks in the face of incompetency. You could have kept these guys long enough, and they were down for the cause. They really were.
Truly.
They really were, until another club said, you know what? We can do better with your talent and your skills, and I'll show you why. Maybe it's time for me to throw away the system and just.
Well, that's the thing right there, Gary. Yes. That's the thing right there. Okay,
throw it out.
Throw out the system.
Throw it out.
They thought that these guys, okay, they're not good in the system, but when they can actually play football on a team that plays actual football and not a system. Look what happens, okay?
You can do the gender. My thing is this: you can still do the gender press if you want to, but I'll say it again: you don't have to be a slave to it, and that's my take on this team. Is that sometimes you won't wind up being a slave. I'm sure there are things they've done differently since then, but if you don't have the personnel, one of the things about playing the system, you're going to be forced to get players that can only fit that system. And if you don't, things go south. So maybe it's time to adapt and overcome and get players that have naturally gifted and deal with a talent that's worth in their skills, that work on their skill set. Maybe that's just me. All the other clubs that seem to do it very well on top of pressing. Maybe you need to do a hybrid. If there was one thing that Armish tried to do, is that he tried to do a hybrid system. The only reason why it didn't work too well is because, it didn't have the players, because it was used to one system, but not the other. And every time when they tried to mix and match, it didn't go so well. Players complained. Management complained. Got them out. Anyway, the fighting continues until now. Once again, we do not have another show next week. We're the time off. When we come back, of course, we're going to review NYCFC, and hopefully we can talk about playoff chance of that. As always, we want to thank you guys for joining us. Of course, after all, it is your show, and we do this for you all the time. Because once again, if you have any, if you have any questions, you have any comments about suggestions to make the show even better, our email address is rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. Until we can have, when they come back, we're also going to have Carlos Cano and, of course, Mark Coates. For Miguel Nunez and Lanre Badmus, happy birthday, bro. I mean, enjoy.
Hey, shout out to all my gunners out there. Thank you. Okay?
Of course, naturally. Of course. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Until then, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Good night and goodbye for now.